Welcome to Culture FC, the new age fireside chats where we talk about soccer but not everything involved on the pitch. We talk culture, we talk lifestyle, we talk fashion, and we are just three dudes. We have a great show for you today. We've got Pirlo, we've got Peru, we've got Predators, we've got Nike.
Pogba.
And Pogba. Let's
you had the
get
P
it
thing going
cracking.
so well.
So well, but it happens.
I'm Alan.
Oh, first off, we have to do our introductions. I'm Brendan,
I'm Louis.
I'm Alan.
and this is Culture FC Fireside Chats. So first,
On the fly rebranding of our podcast.
we are talking Kaka and Pirlo first today. Their influence on the MLS.
So, the reason why we're talking about them is because Pirlo's retiring and Kaka's leaving the MLS. He's not. I don't think he's retiring yet. I think he might be playing for another team, Kaka. But basically, we just wanted to talk about the influence that both of them had on MLS, but also soccer as a whole. Kaka mostly because prior to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, he was the best player in the world. Won the Ballon d'Or,
2007.
Yeah, and he won 2005 with AC Milan, the Champions League. He won 2007, and in 2005 they lost Liverpool, correct?
Yeah.
That was the game that Liverpool came back and won. It was 3-0. They tied 3-3 and then won.
Great game.
But Kaka won 2007 with Milan, and then he won the Ballon d'Or. The guy was just nasty. Like, he was so fucking good.
Yeah, I always mention this, but I remember a game, Champions League, AC Milan versus Manchester United, and I've never seen a guy tear up United as badly as that man did. I remember him scoring just a ridiculous goal. He was just like, I don't know, he was just so silky with everything he did. But he was also just super fast with the ball. Like, he was deceptively fast, I think.
Right.
So just so sad to see what happened to him, just like as his career, and then went to Real Madrid and just like never really played well there.
The thing is that when he moved, I remember when he moved to Real Madrid, I was like, yo, this guy is going to take the next step. It's going to be like, he was already the best player in the world, but then it was just going to be like out there for everybody to see. And then, a couple of knee injuries here and there, and the dude just he never got on at Real Madrid, which is crazy because this whole superstardom that Real Madrid has had over the last 4 years was supposed to have happened 4 years prior to that, because it was the same summer they bought Cristiano Ronaldo, they bought Kaka. They spent a crazy amount of money that summer. So that was supposed to start that second Galacticos era a lot earlier than it did. Mm-hmm. But then whatever, long story short, Kaka came to the MLS and he put Orlando City on the map, right? So Orlando City joins the MLS, they bring in Kaka. The impact he had on the MLS is crazy. Has still.
Yeah, he became an instant superstar. He already was a superstar, but in terms of the MLS, in Orlando, immediate success.
Right.
He was super impactful.
And the reason I think it is that he came over relatively young. He was only, I think, 31 when he came over to the MLS. So it wasn't like these other dudes who just come over and they're, basically this is I'm just going to collect my money and retire or whatever.
I play a season or two.
Right. And he had the best, I think, since Real Madrid, this was his best span of not really being hurt for 3 years. Sure, they didn't win anything. They didn't win an MLS Cup or anything like that. But they have one of the coolest fan bases. He was able to really, really bring about that energy to Orlando with his presence. And I think it's just, he brought people to games. People came to Orlando because of him, you know what I mean? To watch games and things like that.
He also, he also was super, super tight with the fans. There was that one game he was out, he sat in the stands with the fans. He was super involved with the community. After the Orlando shooting, he went to the hospital, visited people.
He really know that.
Yeah, he really
That's
became
awesome.
he really became a part of Orlando. So apart from the on-field stuff, he felt at home in Orlando. Everyone there loved him. He loved the people back. So that was really cool, just because you don't really see that. You didn't see Beckham come in and was a part of the fans.
Or Drogba.
Drogba. All these guys, they come, they do what they have to do professionally, but they don't really involve themselves really with.
Well, I think Beckham did, because he was the first one, and he was basically
It's Becks, bro.
It's Beckham, right? because he came over young, relatively young too. He left Real Madrid around the same age that like Kaka did, but he came and did his thing. But for example, then Drogba and you got guys like Pirlo, Drogba, Gerrard, who played. What did he play at Galaxy? Like less than a season?
Yeah, I think it's because I want to say his wife and stuff. They just didn't love it over here, and they moved right back.
Right, but then he retired and things like that. But
Yeah,
either
he's a
way,
coach.
yeah. But either way, it was just like you have these other dudes who came in and just like didn't take it super seriously.
Yeah.
It looked like they were just cashing a paycheck. They're like, you know what? I already did all my real playing over in Europe. I'm just coming over here to collect some money, live in the U.S. for a little while.
Right, well,
Wow.
he super embraced the culture, whereas like Pirlo was bashing on the MLS and saying like
Even when he was
MLS
playing.
isn't even that good for me to be. He wasn't mad when he wasn't called up for the Italian national team because they were like, yeah, he plays the MLS, it doesn't matter, and he was like, yeah, like it's just not up to standard. Whereas Kaka was like, boom, MLS, I'm here, I'm fully involved, fully committed. Took it more seriously, and of course these other guys are taking it seriously.
Right.
But for them, it seems like more of like a walk in the park. Like let's end this
Yeah.
career on a nice.
And I feel like even for the fans, us, like not us, but the general fan base, when they see a big name like Drogba or something, if they know him, they kind of already assume that that's what they're going to do. That I'm coming here, I'm going to play, and I'm getting a little bit more money because I wouldn't be able to play back where I was previously playing. So
Right.
I'm going to go and play, but like Kaka, he comes and he embraces it wholly. And
Well, which is funny because I guess you kind of have this divide, right? We said Kaka and Pirlo, and those are two kind of drastic differences. But let's bring it even closer to Pirlo. You have David Villa and Pirlo, same team, but David Villa fully embraced it. You know what I mean? He's out there, banging in goals left and right. He's like a legitimate star
yeah,
in the MLS, and yet I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. Like, think about it, like. He's legitimately one of the best players in the MLS. He's not just a big name. He's legitimately one of the best, one of like top 2 best players in the MLS. Yet he doesn't get the love that Pirlo and Kaka do. But first of all, he's Spain's all-time leading goal scorer. The man has won a World Cup. He's won Champions League. He's done all this stuff, but no one looks at him the way that they look at Pirlo and Kaka, and it's like he's up there.
Yeah.
But no one gives. I mean, I know that people in New York give him love and it's stuff like that, but.
on a wider scale.
On a wider scale, he doesn't get as much love as these dudes, and he's actually there doing everything that Kaka did, like putting in the work, doing that. But then you have Pirlo who came, didn't play great, just kind of was like, all right, I'm kind of over it, and did that.
But he was like the face of
But
his team.
which
It
is
was
funny because
crazy.
Pirlo became the face of New York, despite the fact that David
He
Villa
really
was
probably didn't even like it very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Pirlo just has this persona to him that's like super cool. and
Most
that's why-
interesting man
that's-
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like he kind of takes
He
over.
fit into a Dos Equis commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt. I'm sure he will play one. I'm sure.
Yeah, so I think that he takes the limelight kind of because he's Mr. Cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, like look at Schweinsteiger. Right? He's there, but you don't really hear much about
No.
him. It's,
I will say though, I think he kind of did get a little involved. Like he went in and he's trying to do
well,
the
he's
right
just super,
thing.
he's just such a
He's
nice
a great
guy.
dude.
Like when he was at United, he was embracing the culture, and that's like kind of his personality. But
Side note, that's why I wish it worked out that Schweinsteiger at United.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that man, I love Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Yeah, he's
like,
super
he
cool.
is great dude, great player. I really wish it worked out at United.
yeah, I mean, he was like a dream signing for United for so long.
Oh my god. And then finally we get him, and then no.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that MLS is kind of coming to this close where they're going to stop taking these old guys and.
Yeah.
I sure hope so.
I think that obviously there are
But I
exceptions.
think
Like
at the same time too, there
if
is
the big names came.
So here's my
big names
thing.
like Kaka. If they close out, they won't have people like him that want to come and play, and then
But you know what it is? I think that the MLS is finally starting to get to a point where people want to come play, and the level of play is still lower than everywhere else, but it's getting up there. You know what I mean? You actually slowly but surely, if you have guys like David Villa coming in and being invested in doing this and that, you're actually bringing the level of play up.
Oh, yeah,
So I
'cause-
think that with Pirlo's retirement, hopefully it closes a chapter on these players who are just coming over to cash a
Yeah.
paycheck, live in LA for a little
that's
while.
what I hope we stop.
So here's the funny thing that happened over the weekend. Lewandowski's wife says that they want to play. She wants him to play in the MLS, So especially in LA, because they want to move to the US and build their brands here. This is
See,
what.
so that's
And so
See, that's also, is that like...
So the
a
reason
good
I bring
thing
it
to
up
say, though?
is because he's still young. He's 27, probably the best striker in the world currently. I don't know if I'd put anyone above him. But either way, top 3 if we had to, out and out striker.
Yeah, I mean,
he is by
he's
far,
gonna start on any team. He's
dude. When I saw him play, when I went to go watch a Bayern game and I saw this man play, I was literally mesmerized. The guy is so good.
He's Super Saiyan now with the blonde hair.
Yeah, you saw that?
Super Saiyan?
Dude
I
straight
did
up
not see it.
bleached his hair.
Bleach blonde hair.
I saw the funny ass joke. Oh my god, they were like, he misses Marco Royce so
Yeah,
much that he
yeah.
decided to come in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's so funny.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, back to so the reason I said is that let's pretend that Lewandowski moves to the U.S. in like 3 years' time. He'll still be like 30-ish, 31, but let's say he's still producing. Goes to L.A. It may be LAFC versus LA Galaxy
Yeah.
or whatever. Gets his wish. Let's say he can produce right at 31. All of a sudden, he's building his brand. He's building level of play in the MLS. So I'm hoping that with Pirlo's retirement, the people who do come to the MLS are coming a little bit younger. They're coming to actually play versus just building a brand or
Yeah.
just getting
Well, did
ticket
she
sales.
specifically mention LA?
She did.
So see, that's my problem with it is that I feel like if she's saying that, she's saying LA for a specific reason because LA is such a big market. Like,
Yeah.
if they did come and it weren't in LA or weren't in New York,
Then he
you
would
think
be
he'd
happy.
be showing the
Well,
world?
because you
I
know what
don't
it is?
know. I don't
MLS,
know.
I hope, I might be wrong, but I think I heard that MLS is getting rid of like DP allocation, like the designated player allocation. So before it was like, you'd get a designated player, but you didn't really know which one you were going to get. Bex went to LA because he was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere else. You know what I mean? He did whatever he wanted.
Right.
But
But even with some of these, like the Ibrahimovic, it feels like everyone gets steered right to LA.
Yeah.
Right? So I think there's a reason for that.
Well,
And it's
first of
because
all,
that's where they're going to build their brand.
Yeah.
I think that she's pretty. Her saying that makes it super obvious that like if he did come, he might be invested, but there's a.
But I'm more invested
I'm
in
invested
building a
in
brand.
building my community here because it'll help
Yeah.
me in the long run.
Exactly.
right, but as long as he's producing on the field, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, raise the level of play in the MLS. Like, you want to build your brand? LA is probably the biggest soccer. It is by far the biggest soccer market in the U.S. Right? Like, without a doubt. Yeah. And then on top of it, you got Hollywood. You got all these places over there. So building a brand there, not just from a soccer side, but also from a brand side, it's a great idea. But I mean, as long as you're producing on the field, I don't give a shit. Build your brand, do your thing.
Yeah.
Raise the level of play in the MLS. You know, and so I think that with a lot of these players, I really hope it's getting to a point where they're coming and the MLS is growing in stature, not just in size, but also in terms of play. They're adding so many more teams in the next coming years, and it's like people say that every time they do that, it dilutes the playing field a little bit. But we know that that's not necessarily true, given the example of Atlanta.
Yeah, and even like if you think about it too, like imagine these dudes do come and play, but the kids who play against them, can you imagine playing against like not Kaka because he's invested, but like a Drogba or something, like that's gonna make you want to play at least a little bit better. So there's that added competition and level of play that they do bring. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
It is, and I think that it's a weird balancing act that the MLS has to do.
Yeah.
With like, you need the big star players to bring in fans, but you also need them to play well, or else they're just like, is their only purpose to sell tickets, or are you actually playing soccer? Because at the end of the day, you have to get back to what is happening. You can't just put, like, Beckham produced in the MLS for so many years. You know what I mean? He didn't just stand there. But from what it seemed like, Pirlo would show up and just, dude, I read the stat and it was like, New York City plays, like, I think they played so much better when he was on the bench than when he was started by, like, I think on average they allowed like 1.2 goals a game when he played, and they only allowed 0.2 goals a game when he didn't play. So it was like, in other words, his impact was negative on the team. And so you don't need that. You need someone who, yeah, sure, Pirlo's going to sell you tickets, for sure. Like, hell, if I was in New York, I'd go watch him play. But you need someone to produce.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't help if you're a big name guy and you're not actually doing what you're paid to do.
Right.
Which unfortunately we've seen with some of the bigger stars that come from Europe. But I think teams have to be wary when they're trying to get these players of, does this guy seem like he's fully committed to the cause? I mean, that's up to the team because they are the ones that have the direct communications with them, and they're the ones that kind of can get the vibes from the players and see.
Yeah.
It would be cool, hopefully one day, see a player come in his prime. I mean,
Giovinco came relatively, like, he's young, and he's
Right.
just killing it in the MLS.
but he wasn't called up for the Italian team, right? Even
Really?
Italian. I'm pretty sure there was
That's
like
crazy.
I don't know if he was currently for this like last batch of things, but I remember it being a controversy because the coach was saying, "I'm not going to call you up because you're in the MLS."
Yeah,
even
but
though
then,
he was
and you
killing
know what's so funny? Like, you watch highlights of Giovinco in the MLS, and it's
Right.
it's the MLS, but this man is banging in free kicks. Like,
Yeah.
free kick's gonna be the same
Yeah.
no matter where you do it, and this dude's just like kills it, dude. He's too good. He's so
Yeah.
good for the MLS. Like, he's
Yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah, well, see, that's a guy in his prime that came over and he's just like
Well,
unstoppable.
Toronto had the best season, I think, in MLS history this
Yeah.
past year. So, like,
What was the record?
I don't remember the record, but in terms of like goals scored and things like that, like they just had one of the best years. That's what I heard. Like, it was really the best season they've ever, like, any team in the MLS has ever had.
20-5, 74 goals scored, 37 goals against.
That's their goal
37
differential
goals.
is 37. That's crazy.
That is insane. 69 points.
Yeah, so it's cool to see. I mean, it's the dying age of this superstar kind of craze.
Which is
hopefully
good
the
because you want superstars to come.
old superstars. I hope
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
superstars that come in are guys that are prime time. I still think it'll take some time because of that same kind of Italian mentality where like if this guy is playing
Yeah.
MLS, he's donezo, he's finished. I hope that world kind of view of the MLS ends so that players aren't scared to come here and say lose their starting role on their national team
Yeah.
Right.
or some bigger role because that obviously plays a huge role for a guy in his prime. He's trying to represent his country,
True.
do his best, but if he can't get called up because he's of the league
Yeah.
he's playing in, that hurts him.
So this is kind of cool. Continuing on with the New York City FC kind of thing. Jack Harrison is
Love
the
him.
young dude who plays for New York City FC. His story to me is super interesting. The dude is born in England. He was in the United Academy, I believe, right? I'm pretty sure he was in the United Academy as a kid, and he had the
For sure his mom wanted him to come to do school here.
right. He wanted to come do school in the U.S. and there's a really awesome interview that's on YouTube with him that explains like what is
Yeah, I
his,
think it was
his
a Copa
thing.
90 video.
Yeah,
He does. His
And-
mom wanted to come here and play, and he came to some prep school, I think, or something, and then ended up at NYFC's academy. And just been balling ever since.
Wow.
and this is a dude he's a young player, came from a big time academy in England, and clearly he can produce. The dude is nasty. He's young. He's 21, and he's legitimately like one of those. He could be the future.
Well, he
of
got
MLS.
called up for England.
Exactly. That's what that was,
for the
and that was,
team.
and that was where I was going with it. Like the guy is, you wouldn't think that someone playing the MLS is going to get called up for England,
No.
right? He hasn't made a senior cap for England, but it was a U23, U21, whatever it is.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he did pretty well. I'm pretty sure in the game that he did play in, or it might have been a tournament, but he did well. So his prospects of staying with the national team look really, really good.
Right.
There were some rumors of him being actually scouted to go back to Europe. It would be a huge coup for the MLS if he was able to stay
Oh, yeah.
and kind of grow
Right?
as a player here.
For sure.
And still continue to play for England. That would be enormous. I mean, other guys that were playing abroad that say can't break into a senior team there,
Mhm.
come over, we start getting
Yeah.
international competition for spots here. It would just make the league super competitive.
Super
Yeah.
random. Sorry. He came to a prep school in Massachusetts,
Really?
Sheffield, Massachusetts.
Was
That's
it,
so cool.
Was it at school?
The Berkshire School?
Berkshire School
Huh.
in Mass. In Mass. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
And he did all 4 years.
Yeah. Well, he came over at 14.
Oh.
So he was at the United Academy for 7 years, I think, and then they just moved over at 14, and he kept playing soccer. Like that's dope.
Sheffield School,
Yeah.
huh?
He's a
So,
baller, dude.
dude,
He's,
Jack Harrison,
He's
he's
such a
nasty.
cool dude. The interview, we'll link it. He's so down to earth, super cool. He says his mom is a huge, like, crazy fan. Like, she's in the stands with all the fans, just yelling at him, and
That's awesome.
it's cool to see that, like the investment. in
I
the
love the
game.
reverse of that because usually you'd have players. No, okay, maybe he's not big time, but like I just think it's cool that you have these. His whole story to me is awesome because it's like big time academy player. He was at a big time academy. and they came to the U.S., but he's still able to have his dream of playing professional soccer, and he's killing it to the point where he's getting national team calls at the under 21 level.
Yeah.
And if he keeps producing the way he is, I'm sure he'll get called up for England. You know what I mean?
It bodes well for the MLS.
And it really bodes well for the MLS in the long term, where it's like you have these dudes coming up and really playing well, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next topic, something that I think a lot of people have been asking for so long, ever since this special boot was discontinued. Adidas has finally brought the Predators back. Something that is so iconic to their footballing culture. I think it like
Not
puts
just to
them on the
their
map.
culture, I think to the whole soccer culture as a whole.
Oh yeah, I mean I think
Predators
everyone
were,
owned.
yeah. I had
the
multiple.
Becks. I think the only ones I ever owned were the Becks with like the loop that you strapped under, white
had-
with the red tongue. Oh my gosh, I wish
I
saw that.
had the Predators that had the interchangeable soles
Ooh.
that had like the lead or like
Yeah,
the weight on the sole, and then I had the Predators that had the kangaroo leather, the white and the yellow ones when I started messing around with
I
like,
remember you
the
had those for
the
so
rubbery
long.
film.
Yeah.
Love the Predators.
So the new boots, I personally really dig them. I think they look really sleek. I love how it's laceless. I think it's super innovative. I think that they didn't just bring it back, the old model. They didn't just go, oh, you know what, we're bringing back the Predators, here you go, as like a... They didn't do it for nostalgia's sake. They didn't do it for just, I'm going to sell a couple of these sake and be done. They legitimately came out and made a boot for 2017, 2018 that is Predator in feel, look, and everything, but it's modern. It's not just like, we're not just going to bring something back. So they added innovation. They made it look super smooth, super clean. Only issue I have with it is the on the heel, instead of I personally think they should have gone black and red all the way around because that's the Predator color.
Yeah.
They went copper.
I don't really like the copper.
And I'm not digging the copper. If they maybe did like a little bit more reddish copper, if they managed to manipulate it to be a little bit more red, I think that'd be really nice. Because it kind of clashes. Because on the sock lining, it has red stripes or like a red. I don't know how to describe it. It's like red stripes. But then on the back, it's copper. So you have a boot that's black, silver, copper, and red, and I think it'd just look a lot more clean and smooth if it were just black, white, and red, the way that most Predators have been. But it's a small thing. It's a small issue I have because I overall think the boot is super dope.
Yeah, I like that they also brought the now like the Tango version street to wear on the street because it's such an iconic boot that like anyone would recognize it, and if you have that like the street that you just rock around everywhere, such a cool, classy look.
And there's a boost too on them.
Yeah, the street level ones, they have boosts on them, which make it look even better.
Yeah, so it's incorporating that classic that classic Adidas footballing style with more modern technology. You have the neck lining on these ones that kind of go up a little bit more, which is obviously now every boot seems to have that.
The cool thing with the sock liner fit with these too is it's the red stuff you see. That's technology it's called a sock fit collar. I guess it's engineered to naturally expand. So like I have, what do I have? I think I have the A16 or whatever. I have the previous ones. I think the Pure Controls, and they have the prime knit like ankle support thing, but I don't like it because I have a little bit wider of a foot and my ankle itself is a little bit wider, so I always kind of felt like it was cutting off circulation. I know with like Nike Prestos, some people like cut the physical
cut those.
thing.
Yeah, I've had buddies that like have cut.
They'll
off
cut it
that
open.
one.
So I'm hesitant to look into these just because the Pure Controls I have right now are a little bit uncomfortable for me. But I'm sure for like the naturally skinny foot with the skinny ankles, I'm sure it's going to be a hit. Do I want them? Obviously, they're Predators. Can I get them? Probably not, just because they're Predators.
Yeah, probably $250 right now.
Yeah,
I like the ankle lining, how it isn't uniform in height around either.
Exactly,
It's
it
higher
kind of comes back
on the back than it is on the front, which I think is a super modern look, super cool. I like the way that they unveiled the Predators.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had the video with Paul Pogba,
Because I was gonna say the only thing cooler than the boot is the dude rocking.
So he seems to be like the new face of Adidas.
Yeah.
They have the clothing line with him, the PP.
Yeah, they had he did his second launch recently.
Second launch, yeah, which
is great.
Super cool. Street. It looks very street, very modern. And they have this kind of minute 30 video with him unveiling the new boots. Super edgy, like I don't know, just super cool.
It's got the Predator
It looks
feel.
super street.
The
Yeah,
thing
super
that I
Predator.
love about, so as we've said it before, Adidas is murdering Nike right now in soccer. Like Nike comes out with generic crap, Adidas comes out with innovative things with Pogba and different musicians, and like it just seems like every turn Adidas is just smacking Nike in the face with everything they do. So
Yeah, I mean Adidas is now they have the Tango League,
yep.
which is just street soccer players, which
Right.
is so cool too.
And it's like they're actually paying attention on like the grassroots level, but
Oh yeah.
and the way the thing that's really cool about everything they do with Pogba is that it's so integrated. Pogba is so integrated into culture, into music, fashion, lifestyle, all of those things that really matter. They're bringing all of those together in the new adverts for these boots, and I think that's
they had
really gonna
designer on the unveiling of United's black jersey.
right. And they had Stormzy do the thing last year
The
with
unveiling of Pogba.
so it's like
they're on top of.
you have
Adidas knows what it's doing.
Adidas really does, and I think that they're priming Pogba to be their next biggest athlete, right? Because right now, if you look at it, you got Nike, who has Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar, and then on the Adidas side, you have Messi and Pogba. So you have Ronaldo and Messi as the top athletes for each of those, but you have slightly below them Neymar and Pogba as the next two most marketable athletes.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are really interesting because they're both so integrated into culture, lifestyle, music, fashion that like even Neymar had Neymar had a line of clothes a couple of years back. I don't know if he
I
continued or
think he
just
still
continued.
has if you go on Nike, you can still buy his Neymar Junior line.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a little more generic with just Nike stuff that's
Yeah.
black. But they come out with specific lines for him every now and then.
Right.
They had the signature boots for him with the artist from Brazil who did some intricate patterns on them. They did the Neymar Jordan collaboration.
Yep.
So they do
That was
stuff.
big.
Yeah,
That was
was really big. They do some different launches for him. It seems like they've been staggering a little bit. I don't know. They probably are coming out with something soon for him.
Oh,
But
probably.
especially as Ronaldo and Messi get older.
They gotta find
These two are probably the new faces that
Yeah.
are gonna take over.
of soccer.
Gonna be the face of everything.
But I feel like Adidas also does a lot of stuff with the other sponsored athletes that aren't as famous. So when the Pure Control and stuff was coming out, the Nemesis, all that, they had also they had Firmino, and they had a bunch of other
Right.
guys that they're tapping, and I feel like Nike I don't know if I just lean more towards Adidas because I like Adidas more, or they just have a different marketing scheme, but I feel like a lot of other brands aren't doing that with even their sponsored athletes that aren't the top names.
Right.
Well, Adidas does a great job of bringing their old school soccer stuff with new age stuff.
Yeah.
When we talked about a few weeks ago about the soccer ball and how they had Zidane, Xabi Alonso, all these guys who were kind of iconic for their brand back in the day, bringing them to still modernize it, put old faces to new things. I think that what they're doing right now,
And even
because I think
marketing too.
Yeah, I think they saw that they were losing out to Nike for a long time.
Yeah,
So-
for the longest time, we were talking about this when we were talking about the World Cup jerseys. Nike was the leader 100% in the soccer market for so long with everything they did. Everything Nike touched was gold.
Yeah.
And then out of the last 3 years, it's just flipped, or 4 years, it's just flipped. Adidas is now the king in terms of everything with
Right.
soccer.
I think Nike really started to win everyone over when they released that Joga Bonito series.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff was became a cult following almost. I think that Adidas now is reversing that and taking that and taking that street aspect to super gritty, and they're it seems like this is a pivotal moment where they're becoming that new face for soccer and becoming that kind of every kid wants to have the Adidas over the Nike. They're becoming the cooler boots.
Yeah, the Vapors are no longer really they are, but
But dude, I think back to it. I used to hate Adidas boots back when it was I don't know, 6 years ago, I didn't like them. I'd look at them and go, no, that's not great. But you'd get like the Superflies would come out.
I buy
and
like
you'd go,
every Ronaldo pair of Superflies.
dude, my little cousin, he owns every single pair of Vapors that have come out. He has a little shoe, he has a little case in his room.
Dude.
And you know what I found out the other day? He bought some Adidas. This is a kid that, I swear to God, he was religious about buying
Because
his
Adidas
Vapors.
is fucking.
And then the other day, I saw him and he had Adidas boots, and I looked at him and I was like, "Yo,
Which
are
ones
you
did he have?
sick?" Oh, I don't remember.
Yo, I got a Nike case if he wants to buy it.
Really?
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like a Nike display case. I don't own it, but I can.
What are you gonna do? Steal it?
No, but it's at the shop I work at. You can Craigslist that.
But no, either way, the whole point was saying is that this man was religious about his boots, and he went to Adidas.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
Yeah, there seems to be a shift. They're becoming
yeah.
more involved with the people that are behind soccer, and it's cool. It's
And
cool
even
to see
just
that.
like kids who are like wicked popular on Instagram and stuff, like you going down the rabbit hole, dude, and like you find some kid who's just like a street soccer kid, and like he's got like 20,000 followers, and like
he has the
he
free Adidas
was playing
kits.
with like Pele,
Yeah.
and like Adidas taps him to do like all the like they do the performances when like they unveil stuff, and like these little kids
Well,
were just all about it.
Because you know what it is that Adidas is tapping people at the grassroots level.
Yeah, because
And
they're in
that-
Germany.
What?
Like Adidas in Germany, like I'm sure just their
They have
like
so much street soccer.
So
happening.
much
Oh
street
yeah, sorry, I
soccer.
didn't know what you meant.
because
But
they're
like,
in Germany.
yeah, I was like, what is that?
That's why. That's the only reason.
On to the next topic. It's been the fourth week in a row us talking about the World Cup in some way, shape, or form. But today we're not going to bash anybody. We're going to talk about how there are a couple teams this coming World Cup that have qualified for the tournament that either have never qualified or haven't qualified in so long. A couple of those being, Iceland, Egypt, Panama, and Peru. Peru's particularly interesting because South American qualification is insane, and Peru hasn't qualified in 36 years, and so they finally have the chance to qualify this year. They still have to play New Zealand, but Peru's ranked like 130 places above New Zealand, but it's soccer, so you never know what happens.
Yep.
But the people in Peru love soccer. They are absolutely insane with soccer, and to the point that the Peruvian FA, the people who manage soccer in Peru, they stopped the league a couple weeks ago. Like they're leading up to important games for qualification. Peru just suspended the league. They're just like, no games are being played. All the national team players, exactly. All the national team players are going to go to camp. They're going to practice, and they're going to play. We don't care about the league going on right now.
When is their game?
Their qualifier game
That
with
seems like, I
New
feel like
Zealand
I feel
is
like I want them
soon.
to be playing.
Right, but no, I'm saying like during the other qualifications when it was still
when it's
running,
still running.
they did a week prior to the
okay.
game,
They
and
stopped
then and they just stopped the league so that the players could like make sure that they're not getting hurt. They had to play Flamengo in Brazil. They had to pay Flamengo to let them take Pablo Guerreiro like from the middle of the season
And just
so that he
take
could go
him,
join
yeah.
the camp, and they paid him. Like they paid
That's
the club
awesome.
like here's a ton of money, let him go. And so
I think the coolest story is, it's awesome that a bunch of these teams have made it. What has really touched me personally is seeing fan reactions and how these cities come together, seeing their teams make the World Cup. In the case of Egypt, there was this viral video that went out. This old man, supporter of Egypt, just broke down into tears when it was just so happy, so happy.
Yeah.
And his daughter was recording him. So it's you can see what qualifying for the World Cup means to some of these teams.
Oh yeah.
And Salah hitting that penalty and the celebrations after that. He's a hero.
Oh my.
Even if Egypt don't win
Dude,
one
he has
game.
more Instagram followers than Liverpool does. He
Really?
has 5.5 million. Liverpool has 5 million.
Wow.
He scored another goal this weekend. That's talk about soccer. Sorry.
it only took us 4
Salah.
episodes to break our rule.
Either way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's become a superstar. He has a whole nation behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. He wins every single competition that is like
He could probably run
voting.
for president right now.
Voting based.
Oh, for Liverpool.
For Liverpool, for Champions League, for anything. It's just like
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah has 90% of the votes. It's like that's all of Egypt.
Do they do player man of the match on Twitter and stuff like that?
I don't follow the Twitter as much, but I can imagine so.
Yeah, if they put his
Mo Salah's a baller though.
Yeah, he is. He's so good.
We love you, Mo. We love you, Mo.
Yeah, his probably a cult following in Egypt, but it's awesome seeing. Iceland.
Iceland is
when they
probably
qualified,
my favorite
There's
story.
the video of them with
The Viking clap. Well, to me, the thing
the
about
Viking clap, dude,
So
that gives
awesome.
you goosebumps.
the thing about Iceland that I find fascinating, the entire population of Iceland is less than the population of New York City. They have 336,000 people living in the whole country.
It's amazing that that place that small could have.
Because you know what they did? I was watching a video. I thought this was super cool. They went out and created indoor facilities for soccer because there it gets too cold for half the year where they can't really play. They went out and made indoor facilities, and every kid started playing soccer. And so they just really invested, the same thing we talked about Germany a couple weeks back, they really invested at the youth level with indoor facilities because of how cold it is, which is really, really interesting. And they're just, the manager of the national team, he has to go out and tell the supporters before the game who he's playing, why he's playing, and he's interacting with the fans. Like,
I love that.
I think it's so cool that,
Very
like,
cool.
they are so... The thing that I love about soccer is just how much it means, like, culturally, the people and what people feel about their club, like their teams and their clubs and their countries and stuff like that. And to me, watching like the entire nation of Iceland get behind Iceland to qualify,
Yeah.
I found that to be amazing. I love that. I think that I wish them all the best. They just like
You're
I
love
hope
it.
I hope they get out of the group stage. For
if they
whatever.
make it out of the group stage in their first World Cup ever, that's a big time thing.
That would just be such an amazing to watch.
What's the underdog team you guys want to see?
I think mine goes Iceland, Egypt, just because that's just amazing.
Do you mean like underdog
Like-
in the whole tournament?
No, just like who you're excited the most for, I guess, in terms of the underdogs.
that isn't a power like a
That is
power-
isn't a
power-
powerhouse?
like, a team
Because
that's making.
okay, I was gonna go Brazil, but
Yeah,
that's not an
obviously.
underdog ever. But
Yeah.
anyway, no, okay, so underdog team.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. All of the underdogs. I hope they do well. You
Yeah.
know, like Panama. They're another small country that like qualified for the first time in forever or ever. I don't know if they've ever qualified, but
Streets were flooded when they qualified.
Oh,
yeah.
really, yeah.
Like, highways, people flags out the windows, just
I think it's. I love the World Cup because you have like teams that like underdog scoring and making such a big impact, and it's just it continues to grow the sport.
It's their first qualifier too.
Panama's their first time they've ever qualified. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Well, because you know what's gonna be interesting. As of not this coming World Cup, but the following World Cup, it's going up to 40 teams. So
How many is it at right now?
32.
32. Oh wow. So there's
hate
gonna
the
be
40.
that's kind of.
You don't like the 40? You think it's gonna? So
Well, I don't know. I think it'll make a longer tournament, so I'm interested in that, right?
So the arguments for and against it have been, it's the World Cup and you need to involve more world countries.
That's true.
But
is it the best of the best now, or is it just the best
Everybody.
41? Like everybody
Right.
can play.
I think
It's
that
only 8 more teams, but it feels like they're just doing it for financial reasons. To be
Right.
honest. Like they're using
Yeah.
it's just a cynical view of it, but them saying that more teams are going to be involved, I don't care. Like I want it to be the most competitive.
Yeah.
well, because what people don't seem to
And then you
understand
get more
is
of
that
these underdog stories. Like now for the next like X amount of years, it's going to be like, oh, this is their first time making it. But like
Yeah.
they
you know.
make it the next one, and the
Yeah.
next one. Sure, it's cool. You get
What-
to see more teams.
well,
but
what I think is interesting is that people seem to forget that the World Cup doesn't. The World Cup starts 2 years before the World Cup finals actually take place.
Oh,
The
yeah.
tournament that's on TV, those are the finals. Like that's
right.
the best of the best. But the qualification process starts 2
That's
years
still
prior.
part of the
That's still the
tournament.
World Cup. That's still the tournament.
Right.
It's just that people don't seem to get that. And so I think it'll be. I think that it's gonna dilute the playing level for the first couple times, but I think eventually once more and more people start playing playing soccer and getting more invested and stuff, you know, the Icelands of the world or other countries that haven't played soccer too much, I think that'll really make a difference eventually.
Yeah, I think then we'll have the new new Iceland. That's the underdog.
Right.
It obviously it shifts. I'm just an old head, and I like the
Yeah.
32. I think that
I will say, of all the teams that are ranked on the ranking system, Peru's ranked 11.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty high up.
They're ranked
Higher
11.
than England, higher than Italy, Mexico.
Yeah, but
Well, where did they finish in for the South
Fifth.
African?
they
Yeah.
fit.
And then they beat New Zealand 2-0.
They
on
beat New
aggregate.
Zealand?
Yeah, they beat
Oh, so
them
they
on
actually
aggregate,
qualified.
So they qualified.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I probably should have done more research on that part.
Sorry.
Um, Yeah, I don't know why they're ranked so high.
Dude, they're good though.
They must be good.
Their coach is phenomenal. He's what's his name? It's I have to look it up. But this dude is a phenomenal coach.
They're a team with a lot of spirit.
They really are.
They kind of really fight for it. It's nice to see more South American teams just because
Always.
I like that. But
I mean, it's super funny though because it's like Chile, the team that has won 2 Copa Americas in a row, don't qualify for the World Cup, and it's like, how'd y'all mess up? You won the biggest South American tournament, yet when it came down to qualifiers, you were nowhere to be found.
yeah, Argentina's struggling. All these
Yep.
teams.
Because Sanchez is slowly withering away.
You know what? I don't think he's withering away. I think that
I think
him
he's sick
being
suffering.
on Arsenal is withering him away.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
hey,
losing interest in.
I just think that him being on Arsenal is ruining his personal brand
Yeah.
and how good he is at soccer.
True.
He needs to leave.
Yeah, he probably will. What do we have? Here?
Oh, Gareca. He's Argentinian and he's a really good coach.
Really?
Yeah, and he coaches Peru. He used to coach in Brazil too. He coached Palmeiras a few years back.
Yeah, you know, Palmeiras.
Yeah, a lot of Brazilian soccer team references that you guys may not know, but go look
It's
them up.
okay.
Look him up. I don't know him. Tell me if you do look him up.
Give me information about them. But yeah, I think that it'll be exciting to see them. I'm excited for the World Cup.
Yeah.
We can probably keep finding World Cup topics.
Literally,
every
from now
single week.
until the World Cup
The road
starts.
to the World Cup.
All right, so now for our reoccurring segment.
Superstar celebrities, superstar fans.
Woo!
Okay, we're gonna roll with that one.
This week it is.
Drew Carey.
You may know Drew Carey from.
Whose line is it anyway?
What else is he in?
The Price is Right.
Oh yeah, he's the Price is Right guy now.
Right now?
Yeah.
The Price is
You
Right with
replaced
Drew
Bob.
Carey.
What was it? Was it Bob Barker?
I think so.
But yeah, so Drew Carey, super cool dude, funny man, lost a lot of weight, and he's a Seattle Sounders supporter and owner.
Yeah.
He is the owner of the team.
He started watching soccer.
2003. LA Galaxy game.
Yeah, became a fan ever
Fell
since
in love with
that. And decided to kind of start becoming more involved with it, watching as many games as he could.
And then he
Yada,
went to
yada, yada.
Germany in 2006, worked as a press photographer.
Which is crazy.
Pretty
like
cool.
the dude's he's a TV actor and things, and he just goes, you know what? For the month of the World Cup, I'm just gonna go do press photography during a World Cup.
If only. And then he went to Barcelona and saw them playing stuff and saw how the fans vote on membership and stuff like that and the general manager and stuff. So he
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
more
bring
like a
that
democratic.
back. Yeah, more democratic and kind of empowering for the fans. So he brought back that idea to Seattle Sounders and they ran with it and they're a blossoming club. They're one.
Yeah, I mean, now
Blossoming
they have
club.
kind of the more involved fans in the MLS. They have some pretty cool typos, songs.
Yeah, they also have a
Supporters.
band. They have a 53-piece band who is really the driving force is Drew Carey behind that
Oh, really?
band. So, what do they call
I
it?
loved Whose Line Is It Anyway.
They are
I used to
cool.
pee myself watching it. It was really good.
Soundwave. That's their band, Soundwave. But yeah, no, Whose Line Is It Anyway was a great show. I used to love that.
It's still on TV, but it's not the same without Drew
No.
Carey behind the desk. 'Cause they used to make fun of him during the
Oh my
show,
God,
and
it
it was
was
so
great.
fun. Favorite thing to ever watch though is Whose Line Is It Anyway outtakes, because they're not allowed to swear on TV. So the outtakes are fucking hilarious. Like one of the dudes telling the producer to go fuck himself. Like, oh my god, it's so funny.
That's
Oh,
rich.
good times.
But yeah, he's a big Seattle guy. It's cool to see. It's been cool seeing the segment and seeing
yeah,
not
really
only
looking
fans
into
but how involved they are.
Oh, yeah.
with the clubs that they support. Just brings attention to the sport. I don't know. It's weird seeing celebrities support teams, so you just feel like they're just so far removed from
Right.
like the real world, but
Yeah.
they can be just as deep, if
Celeb-
not deeper, because of their money.
The message of today's episode is celebrities are people too.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
do whatever.
don't forget celebrities.
Don't forget celebrities because they can really impact your soccer team.
Right, guys, that's episode 4 of Culture FC. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do something. You know, send us a
Email
comment,
us,
anything.
Email us. Email us pictures. Try to
Not random pictures. Like, I don't want a picture of your dinner. Actually, I do want pictures of your dinner. Send us something.
Anything.
Some things I could do without.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll filter it though. Send everything, and we'll filter it.
Contact at trebleware.com. TREBLWEAR.com. Easy to find us. We'll respond as soon as possible. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet via iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, do it because we are awesome and we love you even though we've never seen you.
Don't forget to also hit the subscribe button on YouTube if that's your flow. If you prefer to watch the video, subscribe. And yeah.
Listen up.
Peace.
Peace.